So recently there was a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, I'm pretty sure it's a partner showcase, not a mini, that had Octopath Traveler 0 announced in it. Now, me being a huge fan of the Octopath series, I obviously was very excited about it. I loved the first game, even though I felt like it didn't quite reach the heights that it could have, where Octopath 2 definitely hit those heights, hit all that potential I thought one could. Octopath Traveler 2, masterpiece. You gotta play it. So naturally, I'm excited for 0. What I didn't know as I was watching the trailer was that it's actually sort of a reimagining of the mobile game Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent. Now, I do want to play that game. I actually have it downloaded to my phone. I never ended up opening it or trying it, even though I did want to give it a go. Now I'm probably not, just because this exists. But yeah, this is kind of a reimagining, remake of that game. Now, I saw quite a few people react to this like, well, that's weird. Why would you remake a mobile game? Well, I want to come in and kind of say the opposite, because I had this thought almost immediately after finding out this information that it was based off of a mobile game, but I completely forgot about it because, for reference, I'm recording this on September 1st, 2025. I work a lot, so I just tend to forget things. I should have wrote it down, but shout out to Pop-Tart in my stream yesterday. We were talking about Octopath Traveler 0 and how excited we are. And he's also a big fan of Champions of the Continent. He played the mobile game, and he and a few other people have told me that the story in that game is fantastic. But this kind of brought back all of my memories that I was thinking about, or my thoughts, not my memories, my thoughts that I thought of in regards to Octopath Traveler 0 and its existence, which is a lot of different things. But before I get into that, I do want to read some things from an article that Square Enix posted themselves in regards to Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent. So these are two different articles. This first one, this is a question that poses, how does this game relate to Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent? If you played the mobile title, Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, the game's setup may sound a little familiar. That's because Octopath Traveler 0 is inspired by story elements and gameplay ideas from that game. This new entry in the Octopath Traveler series has been designed as a full-fledged console and PC RPG. It takes the acclaimed story from the mobile release, but reworks it to add new story content and streamlines the overall story for a more compelling experience. It features a new script with entirely new narrative elements, including new backstories for playable characters, as well as full voice acting that brings the many twists and turns home more effectively. Already, I'm like, this, bro. In the world that we live in right now, we have so much trash mobile games and so much gacha slop that's on the market that is really depressing. And while a lot of them are very, very successful, and to be honest, probably going to be a big leader in terms of pioneering what a lot of the future of gaming looks like, which scares me, but it is what it is. That's not what this video is about. It's about what Square is doing with their own mobile games. As you all probably know, I mean, just recently they shut down Brave Exvius, which I know was really popular in Japan, and a Dragon Quest mobile game I don't remember the name of. But Square, ever since their new CEO, Takashi Kiryu, I think his name is, came into position, the position he's in now, he has been culling mobile game after mobile game after mobile game. They're all getting fucking slaughtered. And a lot of those mobile games are pretty shit, but a lot of those mobile games also have really, really great story to them. I think if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, if you're a fan of Nier, and if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, you probably have played one or more of their mobile games, and you know what I'm talking about here. They actually do write some pretty great stories into those games, but unfortunately, a lot of those games just kind of suck ass. Seeing them do something like this with Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, I think is one of the greatest things I have seen in the gaming industry. Straight up. I mean, first of all, from a game preservation standpoint, so many games, especially from Square Enix, that come out on mobile devices, once they're gone, bro, they're gone for good. We're never playing them again. We're never gonna see them again. It feels like anytime you see a mobile game come to market, I know that there's a lot of people who are dissuaded from even wanting to play them because they know it's gonna get shut down, especially from Square Enix. Just recently, there was a really great mobile title from Tokyo Games and Akatsuki called Tribe 9, which was fantastic. That was probably the best gacha game I've ever played. And that a lot of that was because it didn't really focus much at all on the gacha. It focused very, very much on delivering a really, really great console experience game. And that's probably why it failed. Because let's be honest, every thread I was reading, people were just like, what the fuck, gems, what the fuck, where are the women? Like that, you know, and I guess that is what it is. That's what people play these gacha games for, unfortunately. Taking this approach that Square has done with Champions of the Continent, going back, looking at, okay, what do people like about this game? They love the story, they like the characters, and they like the combat system. Let's take this stuff, let's expand on it, let's put more of a focus on, let's say, like, you know, in this case, there's an interview I can pull up right here. The game takes inspiration from Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent story. What inspired you to use those elements for this game? When we made Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, we wanted it to offer a console gaming experience on mobile devices, so it felt natural to use that story in this game. Rather than honing in on a single specific traveler, Champions of the Continent, the mobile game, focuses more on the big picture story of Orstera as a continent. For Octopath Traveler 0, the console game, however, you become the protagonist of that world, and the game focuses on telling your story. I hope that players will look forward to discovering how their character and hometown fits into and impacts the larger world. It almost feels like giving these games a second life, because a lot of the time, from what I hear, at least with Champions of the Continent specifically, there was not really anything wrong with the game other than, well, there's gacha in it. Now what they seem to be doing here is a lot more than just taking the gacha out of the game, but games like Nier Reincarnation, which is apparently kind of like Nier 3 in a way, from what I understand. I have not played it. It's apparently kind of like Nier 3 and how the story is done, and if that's the case, well, that game isn't even in service anymore. You can't play it. You could probably like look up cutscenes and stuff like that, but listen, if you're anything like me, watching is a lot different from playing. I feel like I retain a lot of the story if I'm actually playing it versus just watching it. And kind of taking that foundation, that blueprint, and then actually expanding on it and turning it into a full video game just sounds heavenly to me. I think about a lot of Square Enix's back catalog of mobile games and which ones I could pick and choose, and okay, which one do we want to expand to be like a real true video game? And to me, the ones that immediately stick out are one I had already previously mentioned, Nier Reincarnation and Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. I actually play Ever Crisis every single day, and that game sucks. There's great ideas in it. Like, I'm talking purely from a mechanical gameplay standpoint, but like, it's just not a great game. It's such a like old school Japanese gacha slop is what it is at the end of the day. However, the story, the first soldier story, the one that focuses on Sephiroth, is really good. And it is a travesty, an absolute travesty that this story is locked to that game. I remember when the trademarks for First Soldier were originally coming out, and me and my friend David at the time were speculating they were going to make like a Final Fantasy like Musou game or something with Sephiroth, and it would take place during the Wutai War. Obviously that didn't fucking happen, but I look at the framework of what they have done with Ever Crisis, and man, I would love it if they took that and just made like a short game. For a while, I was hoping like, well, maybe they can make like an animated show or something, which would also be really cool. I'd take that as well. But not just Ever Crisis, stuff like Nier Reincarnation. I don't have all their mobile games up in front of me right now, but I'm sure I could find more. I know that the Saga game they did, a lot of people really like that. I think they had a Mana game as well. A lot of these games, bro, just go through and do what you're doing with Champions of the Continent, because not only does it, one, preserve these games so that we can actually still play them because they're, you know, available to purchase on modern platforms, but it lets developers get to make video games on a much shorter timescale because they already have so much of the framework done from, you know, the previous mobile version. And we get to see stuff like this, where Octopath Traveler 0 is launching at 50 USD. All right, video games are expensive nowadays. Even 50 USD is expensive, but considering what they're doing here, where they're taking a giant story from the mobile game and turning it into this full-on massive JRPG, I think that's more than worth the asking price. I love this. I want to see more of this, and not just from Square Enix, but from the entire gaming industry. One of the games I'm looking at right now as I'm thinking about this is Persona 5 The Phantom X. have a lot of mixed feelings on Persona 5 The Phantom X. I almost wanted to do a video reviewing it for this second channel, but I ended up not doing it because my opinions were just mostly negative. But I feel like a lot of that is because, you know, I have not seen what Atlas did with Palace 3. By the time this video is out, I think Palace 3 will already be out, but I will not have played it by then, because listen, I'm gonna be real, September's stacked with a lot of fucking games I want to play, and I am not playing P5X over those games. But P5X is one of those ones I think of, where I'm like, man, if Atlas could take that game, you know, rewrite and restructure a lot of it, I think there is a good game there. But a lot of that game structure, a lot of the stuff in that game, when I heard people reviewing it and saying like, oh, this is just like a mainline Persona game, it's fantastic. I don't know, like there are parts of it, but like it does not feel that much like a Persona game to me. It never felt like that. A lot of that is because like the calendar system is just not even really a thing. Like I could go on for a while. This video is not about that. My point that I'm trying to make is there are so many great ideas, great concepts out there, and they are being wasted on these gotcha slop. Let's take these things and let's put them onto platforms with real dev time behind them, so we can see some real good stuff. It's probably cheaper too than you know, going out and making Octopath 3 right now. I don't even know if they have the main team on this. My guess is no, because they also have Elliot coming out. That's probably the main team. But yeah, what do you guys think? What mobile games would you like to see, whether it's from Square Enix or any other company, would you like to see come back as a full-on game? Oh, I just remembered Mobius Final Fantasy. Bro, come on. There's so many cool, whatever. Yeah, let me know what you think.